Hey everyone, Sumo Spiffy here. Welcome to the pre-recorded intro for the May 2026 Banzuke Breakdown. Usually when I do these, I record for 20 to 30 minutes, cut the dead air and other useless parts, maybe throw in some comments from editor Spiffy about what an idiot recording Spiffy is, and upload it 2 to 3 hours after the Banzuke drops. This time I've got 30 minutes, maybe 40, before I gotta pick Yuria up from the airport, thus the thumbnail. So this one's gonna look a little different. Usually I go through the Banzuke and color it in based on how my predictions went, but there's no time for that here. Because of that, the whole screen will be visible the whole time. This will probably be fine for anyone on a PC or a television, but if you're on mobile, hit the comments and let me know if you can still see what's going on. But the biggest difference is probably going to be, depending on how batshit the Banzuke is, I may have very little time to edit this before uploading. So really, regardless of where you watch, let me know what you think of this style versus the usual. If this works for people and it's faster, that's a win all around. On to the actual Banzuke in 3, 2, wait, mid-recording edit. Okay, Banzuke time, let's do this. We've got Hoshoryu, Yokozuna 1 East, Onosato, Yokozuna 1 West. Hoshoryu had more wins, so that's how that's going to work out. Kotozakura had 10 wins to Aonishiki's 7, so he goes ahead to Ozeki 1 East, that's fine. Kirishima as the new Ozeki goes to the back of the line. He is Ozeki 2 East, not 2 West. Again, I messed that up on the instant one, got it right here. They only put one on the West with nobody on the East if they needed to balance out the numbers in the Sanyaku. You don't see it a lot, but you do see it sometimes. Atami Fuji, Sekiwake 1 East. Kota Shoho did get the Sekiwake 1 West spot. I overthought this one. When people were telling me they thought Takayasu was going to stay at 1 West, I thought they had a good point. A lot of people thought they had a good point. Because, so when a little while ago, Takayasu famously only got demoted from Komusubi 1 East to 1 West, when Aonishiki would have normally been brought up from Maegashira 9 East to Komusubi in his place with an 11-4 record. But he didn't earn the Komusubi spot. In this case, Kota Shoho did earn the Sekiwake spot, so they weren't going to protect Takayasu in this case. That's good to know. I got that one wrong. I should have just listened to myself initially. Whatever. It is a fine decision. It makes sense. Wakataka Kage to Komusubi 1 East, Takayasu to Komusubi 1 West. That's all perfectly okay. We're good here. Fujinokawa, as expected, to Maegashira 1 East, Takano Sho to 1 West. Yoshino Fuji does stay ahead of Ichi Yamamoto at Maegashira 2. Hirata Umi, Oho, and Daisho all stay in place. Gonoyama does go to 4 West. Wakamoto Haru, in fact, ends up at 5 East. Shodai does go to 5 West. Churno, what? Wait a second. Churno Umi ended up at 6 East. Now I saw, so like on the Sumo forum, a bunch of people put in their Guess the Banzuke entry, right? And they had Churno Umi all over the place. The highest was here, 5 West, and the lowest was here, 7 West. Why Churno Umi ended up, now I know that Shodai mathematically, he was 8 West, so by math he was, he goes to M7 West, right? Fuji Seiyun was 10-5 at, where is he? Oh, 13 West. So he goes up to M8 West. But Churno Umi, 4-11 at 2 West, he was down to Maegashira 9 West. That's mathematically. Why they decided to put him ahead of Fuji Seiyun and Chiyoshima and Asakoryu kind of blows my mind. Like, that is a very arbitrary decision. And also, it means that despite them absolutely shafting the guys from the Joy going from January into March when they had bad records, in this case, 4-11, he's only going down minus 3.5 ranks. Now, that isn't like a terrible decision. It's not like that. It makes absolutely no sense, especially when you figure that because the Sanyaku got bigger, because it went from 8 to 9 guys, now everybody else is kind of essentially demoted an extra half a rank. What I mean by that is, so Churno Umi last time, there was 8 Sanyaku and he was 2 West, right? So that would make him number 12 overall. So now with 9 Sanyaku, now Maegashira 1 East is 10, and so 2 East is 12, and we go down the line, 14, 16, 18, so now he's 20. So he dropped 8 slots, which is like 4 ranks. But still, on that 4-11, that is kind of surprising. I am a little bit baffled by that, but only with respect to what they did from January into March. It's actually a lot like what they did through most of 2025. So again, it's not a terrible decision, just a little bit of a surprising one to me. Let's clear that out. But Fuji, Seiyun, Chiyo, Shoma, and Asakoryu are in the expected order. Fuji, then Chiyo, then Asakoryu. They're just not exactly where I expected them, but that all makes sense. Chiyo ended up ahead of Asakoryu because he had more wins. Totally logical. Oshoma, 8 East, as expected. Asahakuryu, 8 West, as expected. Oh, Abi, whoa. Okay, so I think I said something about this on the Guess the Banzuke video, but I can't remember exactly what I said. I think I might have said exactly this. Like, Abi and Hakuno Fuji, so Abi had 4 wins, right? But he was 2.5 ranks higher. So mathematically, he should have been at, where is the number? So 4 wins, 4 and 11 at 5 East puts him at 12 East. 5 and 10 for Hakuno Fuji at 7 West puts him at 12 West. They're a half a rank apart from each other, right? And they were both injured. They both missed matches due to injury. So even for people who say, oh, if they go Kyujo, that's not looked on favorably by the Banzuke committee, well, they are in the same boat. They've missed almost the same number of fights, right? So that shouldn't matter at all. And yet, Nishiki Fuji and Asanoyama end up between them. Nishiki Fuji was 9 and 6 at 14 West, so his math was 11 West, and Asanoyama was also at 11 West, right? This is getting real ugly. So they were both a half a rank ahead of Abi and a full rank ahead of Hakuno Fuji, mathematically. Why that puts Abi ahead of them and Hakuno Fuji not? Okay. Abi at 5 East is not a Joy wrestler, right? He was number 17. The top 16 are the Joy Jin, whatever. But he also had exactly 1 Sanyaku match, and that was against Wakamoto Haru, who had 1 leg. So his quote-unquote difficulty of schedule, yeah, he had to fight some of the higher Maegashira guys, but still, I mean, maybe that's something to keep in mind, that even higher Maegashira guys, it's not just, do you fight the Sanyaku? The higher Maegashira wrestlers are also maybe considered a difficult enough set of opponents that it might give you a little bit of favorable treatment. Still, there was no reason to, oh, this is them doing their thing. This is them doing their thing. It's not the worst thing. It's just weird and arbitrary, and we're gonna move on because I have to get this done. At least we can talk about the rest of the Banzuke on this screen, right? So we've got these 4 guys where we're just like, I don't know what's happening. But then at 11, we have Ura and then Kinbozan. That all makes perfect sense, right? They should have ended up there. Then Shishi, then Toki Hayate, then Kotoeho, then Tamawashi, then Mataki Yumi. Now, Wakano Sho, so okay, I had Ryuden at 15 West, but I had Ryuden at 15 West because I had Wakano Sho at 14 West. Wakano Sho getting dropped to 16 East. Now, props to Kintamayama, who, if you don't know him, he is like super old school with this stuff. But he came through and he was like, I don't see any way Wakano Sho ends up above 16 East. And he was right. That's wild. I figured they would throw him in above the guys with the losing records, and they absolutely did not. And I think very few people had him at 16 East. Now, so Ryuden at 16 West, which a lot of people got right. Now, one thing I messed up, so I'm going to clear this out real quick. Because, again, of the Sanyaku going from 8 to 9, and everybody losing that extra slot on the Banzuke, that means that, for example, if Roga goes, so Roga was 10 West, right? And he finished 5 and 10. So mathematically, he goes from 10 West to 15 West. But if they actually dropped him all the way to 15 West, he doesn't drop 10 slots, he drops 11 slots. And there have been times when it looks like they take that into consideration when they're moving these guys around. They will actually push a guy up a little bit to make sure he doesn't get over demoted or whatever, because it looks, we have no proof, we never have proof, but it looks like they are taking into account the number of slots these guys are dropping, not just the numerical rank. So in this case, it looks like what they did was make sure that all of these guys not only were under demoted, but also didn't fall as many ranks as many slots as they could have. Because, so we have Roga who with 5 and 10, he should go, if we're counting it as slots, he should go down 10 slots. Oshumi should go down 10 slots. Tobizaru with 6 and 9, he should go down 6 slots, and they all went down 1 less than that. So going from 10 west to 14 west, Rogo went down 9. Going from 11 west to 15 west, Oshumi went down 9. Going from, where the hell was he? Toby! 13 east to 15 east, he's going down 5. So they all made sure that these guys were under-demoted, both in a relative sense and numerical sense compared to the guys coming up from Juryo. I should have had Ryuden at 16 west for that reason. I didn't think about that in the moment when I was, for all of the time I spent figuring out the Banzuke, I didn't think about that part. So Ryuden at 16 west should have been an easy call. I didn't do it, but that's okay, that makes sense. Wakanosho, I guess coming from Juryo 3 west going up, so that means, so if you look at how they do the Banzuke, generally they take the previous Banzuke into account, so then they consider that there is actually a guy in 17 west, so that slot counts. So from 3 west to 17 west is +3 and then +4, so that's +4.5 ranks on an 11-4 record in Juryo. That's fine. It's fine. There's nothing wrong with that decision. It's just not what I thought they would do. Okay, so we finally had a Banzuke that actually makes sense top to bottom. Nothing weird. Well, okay, Abi. Abi getting ahead of Nishiki Fuji and Asanoyama is definitely a little bit of an arbitrary oddball decision, but it's one that they've made before. We've seen stuff like that before. And as the weirdest decision of the Banzuke, it's definitely pretty tame. So I guess as much as the Banzuke rankings, I'm not going to do that well this time. Congratulations to whoever finishes with like 78 points or whatever. I guess I got to thank the Banzuke committee because you let me get through this quickly, and now I can do a little bit more editing, go pick up Yuria from the airport, and you've made my life much easier. So thank you for watching, like, subscribe, etc., and I will catch you all very, very soon. See ya.